Hi, and welcome to episode 5 of my space exploration run. I dismantled the laboratory area up here because I didn't dismantle it completely. Because I felt like there's not really much reason left to do my science up here, when basically my whole resource production has wandered downstairs. So I feel like reducing this area a little bit and going for some other directions. We're having a pretty okay production of iron plates here, I think. I mean, sure, I would like to have more, but I'm actually able to maintain a few more because we have the resources. So let's do this. I want to set up the fuel refinery soon as well. I just simply forgot that the last time when I set this up, as got pointed out in the commentaries in the last episode. But that's okay. One thing at a time, you know. So, wow, that's some nasty recipe on the inserter here. Oh my goodness. I'm going to produce just that one here, because it's actually just one lacking. And we're going to output here, and that's all. That's why I wanted to handcraft at least one of these inserters, because it would have been so such a long way to pick up the inserters. We don't need... Oh, we do need that. Okay. So these cliffs keep tricking me. It's another one of those stories where I feel like I don't need that, but I actually need that. So I have tons of coal in my pocket. I mean, I'm still working with the old school copper production here because I have such a low copper consumption in general, but okay. We're going to change that. First off, I want to let the bricks run over there. And with the fuel refining, man, I should do that as soon as possible. It would expand my available materials by 10%. Yeah, well, one thing at a time. What's really important to me right now is to start researching again and automate my production of things like... Oh, it's not so cool. Automating my production of things like assembling machines and stuff like that, which just takes up pretty long times to handcraft it. So let's create the brick line. It's also very important to have that. Right now I'm not too crazy about organizing this in a very good way, because this is all starter base, so we're not even designing a main bus yet or something like that. No. I'm just doing the most complicated starter base I did since C Block. Okay. So that stuff is just unnecessary. I want to get rid of the useless power poles here. These seem to connect something, so I'm going to keep them for now. These as well, but these don't. Alright. So, well, I could do the same thing with a lot less materials here. There. Okay. Okay, that's a start. So my things that I want to have produced are mostly the assembling machines and the miners, because these are just things I need in terrible amounts. So we're going to need motors and bricks and iron plates to realize that. Okay, not too terrible. the motors here are, well, I have a motor production there, I have a motor production here. That's, if we look at it, really barely covering up my my needs here, so I'll better be producing a new motor factory here, so we're going to do that first. Boy, look at that crafting time. Man. So probably gonna change that a little bit. So picking up some electric motors helped a lot. Let's see, how do I want to do that? I have a motor production here, which leads up there. I did a separate motor production for these inserters, and these guys are not needing normal motors at all. So, as a matter of fact, I'm feeding this here with 2 motor factories. Concerning. So that means I'm going to produce at least one complex here for the assembler business, you know. So it's that. I mean, I'm pretty sure that we could optimize this in terms of inserters. So, fast inserters. I don't have an automated production of electronic circuits here, don't I? No. Because they need stone tablet. Okay. I remember now how it came to that. Let's start producing that stuff, because with fast inserters, things would probably look a little bit different there. Okay. So stone tablets are also something on my production schedule. There's a lot of things we have to do here in between. Alright. So, do I need fast inserters to output here? Luckily, no. As a matter of fact, I'll only need a yellow inserter here too. That's good. Okay. So that's some start here. And since this is working as it's working, we're going to do this like that. Oh. Just notice that I'm really doing some mistakes here. Okay. So here we have the motors. Going to have another line with iron plates and stone bricks. If we look at these recipes, I'll need mostly iron plates and only a few motors. Motors are just the lowest counting ingredients. I'm pretty sure that this one belt here will be absolutely enough. This one machine for the motors, I mean, will be absolutely enough. I'm counting on it that I'm not needing it much more than that. So I'm rushing this even before I'm going for any other production chain, because I feel like having assemblers is so damn important, because assembling machines, if you don't have them, you're really slowed down like crazy. And in this mod, handcrafting assembling machines is simply not a funny business at all. Alright, so we're going to put the burner inserter machine here. I'm going to have a rat-handed inserter for this. Possibly we're going to need something quicker than that. Let's see. Yeah, sure. So if we go for fast inserters, oh my goodness. I mean, it's not really important to completely satisfy these machines, because that's basically not possible. Yet still, I want to try to at least get this going in a realistic attempt. Let's call it a realistic attempt. I'm going to put a machine in between here, of course. And now we have to check out what we need for the real machine. There's going to be a need of electric motors and iron gear wheels. The electric motor business. Oh, how did that work again? So these boys need copper cables and regular motors, and that's all. So, okay. Already checked out that this is giving them a little bit more copper cable than they need, and this would be less than they need. Okay, so I'm needing 2 machines for copper cables to satisfy one factory for electric motors. So in the long run, I think I'm going to put up a pretty big logistic up for electric motors, because they seem to be a really big thing here, or yeah, motors in general. So we're going to get that, and then I'm out of iron plates. Oh, it's something I can change, right? I mean, look at that. I'm having a few. So I'm refeeding these beasties because they seem to be hungry. And let's copy this recipe. So let's check the inserters. We can do this with one blue inserter. Well, I'm going to stick with the blue inserters here because this is a neat and easy way to solve this problem without the hassle of thinking too much about it. Alright, there we go. That's that. Maybe pick up some splitters as well. Look at that. We're really automated right now. And then I'm going to need another one of those buggers. And that's going to be the electric motor facility. For some small scale operation, I think this is completely okay. For larger scales, I'm going to rethink that. But we're just starting out here, so it's completely okay. I'm going to need 2 fast. Ow. Okay. 2 fast inserters for the copper cables. That's pretty hefty, but well. At least only 1 for the regular motors. So let's check this out. Are they evening themselves out? I'm even having an overproduction here. God bless. So this machine here needs electric motors, gear wheels, and burner assembling machines. Okay, so with the gear wheels, I'm just giving this guy his own factory. We already did that in the past, so I'm pretty comfortable with that. I want some more blue inserters, for sure. But I'm going to produce them automatically pretty soon, too. I mean, I have the brick line, so with the brick line I can finally produce the stone tablets, and we're getting there. Okay. Now, what kind of inserters do we need? We need 2 inserters for the gear wheel production, but I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to produce that amount of gear wheels. Like I said several times in the past before, you don't necessarily need to let these facilities run on max productivity. Most of the times that's just not realistic at all. You know. So there we go. Let's set it up for now, something like this. Maybe not the proper choice for long term. Don't know. I have a slight feeling that I need to readjust that in the near future. So I have that, I have that, I have that. Okay. So that should be working out, shouldn't it? Not if I'm outputting into the wrong direction. I say now. I need a container. And there we go. My first own inserter factory. Also, I should possibly do something like that. Okay, now onwards to the miners. It's a pretty similar thing here, so I'm quite okay with that. But probably I want to have a separate motor production to do this. Or do I? Hard. It's a hard choice. I mean, sure, I could just leave it like that, and yeah, I'm going to do that. I mean, I do have now tons of inserters, don't I? Also, why do I have such an insane consumption of, well... Is that last guy not smeltering? Yeah, I'm not producing enough iron ore, so that's what's going wrong. I had something... I had a feeling like something was off. So let's expand this by a few more miners and see how much help this will bring. Okay. It's also possible that I'm going to need a few more copper productions here, but maybe not. I don't know yet. So obviously the electric motor business is not completely booked out here. I'm going to check out the ore here for a sec. So, well, whatever. I'll reproduce this. I need a motor, a stone brick, and an iron plate. So I see here that this whole thing is really not running on its peak business there. So I have an idea how to do this. I have an idea. Maybe not the worst of ideas. We're going to set up the burner mining drill thing here. It's going to work quite slowly, but as a matter of fact, that's not the worst thing. So let's see. Going to do something like this, like that. I don't need iron plates, don't I? I do. Okay. But I don't need iron gear wheels. Perfect, actually. Perfect. So, that's that. And there goes the output. Alright, there's a start. There's my burner mining drill. I'm going to set up the electric miners right next to that, but maybe this time something like this. So I'll need iron gear wheels, electric motors, and okay. So basically, they should swap places. This one should be living down here. And this one right there. So this will help. Power these guys up. They should work. Only problem here is I'm really not producing enough iron plates for now, but we're going to get there, don't worry. So, electric motors are here. We're getting in the electric gear wheels from here. And then I'll get in these guys from here. And then the only thing lacking is enough iron. But overall, the iron will come. There's not a question if this gets done. The only question is when it will get done. Like, right now I'm just not having enough production of iron in general. So let's see. How many plates do these boys put on the belt per second? It's a pretty low amount, you see. So let's expand that again. Just to make sure that I'll get enough production up and running. It's the typical situation where my iron production is way more needy than the copper production. We look at that. On the copper side, we're still working with 4 burner mining drills, and it's okay. I don't suffer at all. Okay, let's pick up the red inserters and the yellow inserters. I need them both. So you see, we're starting to produce these guys. It's a slow process because I'm not having enough iron, but whatever. At least it's working, you know. You don't want to talk bad about anything that's just working fine. The only thing that's not working fine is my defenses. Like, look at this. I'm not even having another turret here. Okay, let's change that. Better. Gives me a really unwell feeling if my smelters are undefended like that. Okay, there we go. More iron. So, how about this? I'm going to put this under the belt. We're going to do some fake balancer before it gets into the real balancer, just to make sure that we're not getting too much backpipes here. Well, that's actually completely unnecessary. Doesn't help at all, only looks like it could help. Well, I tried it. It was terrible. Sometimes it's good to try things, you know. So, next step is setting up science. I want to have, but that's something I'm going to put the Helmod on. We're going to put up red science here. So, to produce 1 unit of science per second, we're going to need what? So 60 science per second would be needing a setup like this. So not too heavy, I mean. It's just a stupendous amount of assemblers necessary. Well, 10 assemblers. Good lord. Also, I feel like I'm still producing not enough iron here. So whatever might be the case, what would we need for the green science? So I want a similar output there. So we're going to need what? 10 factories of these. And 1 factory of these. Okay, so basically, for the green science, it's going to be quite easy. I just need to set up very, very, very basic structures. And 1 iron gear wheel factory will feed 10 factories of red science. Sorry. At a loss of words sometimes. Okay, I'll just give it a go like this. I'm pretty sure that the production will be okay with that. So we're going to put down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like this. 1, 2, 3. So there we go. That's where I produce my red signs. Would be better if I would be able to arrange them in one line, but whatever. Not that terrible. Alright, so these will be the basics. So I honestly will just make life easy for me, and going to steal resources here. Because most of the time, you really don't need much when it comes down to yellow inserters and belts and research. Especially not if you're having a starter base, which basically asks to get demolished in the future, you know. So the way I'll do it is I'm going to let that production here run for my science as well. So that should work. That should work quite well. So we're going to have the same setup as we did here. 10 factories for the green science. Right. Maybe I want to do the same thing here, huh? One, two, three. Ooh, that was a bad counted 3 here. Sometimes I wish I could turn on a hex grid when I start building, but I'm pretty sure there's a mod for that. There's pretty much a mod for everything, you know. So this particular setup, will I do that? Maybe I'll do that. No, I'll not do it. Just wondered if I let it run down. Let it run through this production block here, but then I didn't want to. Okay. So this is going to be a very, very slow production of science in general, because I'm far away from a maximized production plan or anything like that, but it's okay. I don't mind at all. It was not my plan to do something very well designed or such. No. I just want to have a starter base which produces 60 signs per minute. Because I always think that 60 signs per minute is a pretty healthy spot to stand on. Okay, there we go. So the only thing that's really bugging me a little is that now having, well, this full belt, you know, Alright, but we're going to take care of that. So, I have, what, 10 laboratories, right? Where are they? 8? Okay, whatever. There's a quite simple solution to my problem there. Normally I mix the yellow and the red signs on one belt, the yellow and the green signs on one belt, but in this particular scenario I'll just do something different this time. We're just going to set up some inserter system here, where only one of the laboratories gets deliveries, and they're just going to trade with each other. So let's give them power and check out. Okay, so this way they'll just load the green signs. The green signs did work, but the red signs didn't work yet because it has no way of streaming through the system like that. So I think now the green signs needs a way here. Okay. Well, that's not really optimal. I would do it differently the next time, but for now it'll work. I can research things again, so... Let's start with the electric poles, I guess. Or is there anything else I really want to have beforehand? High performance engine. No. Let's research the Jetpack. So yeah, the last one doesn't get red signs here. But apart from that, so we need one up and down everywhere. There we go. So I'm not sure if this is working out as intended. It looks very complicated to think about it from the outside. But whatever might be the case, I'm able to research with it, so it can't be that horrible. But also, as a matter of fact, my copper resources are now plundered. Who would have thought about that? I mean, I'm completely okay with that. It's finally giving some of my other resources a meaning. So, time to produce some fuel refiner. I mean, it's a very, very simplistic concept here. It's really nothing special or such. So, didn't I have a fuel refinery on me already? Yeah, there we are. So... let's just toss it in. Okay. I really don't have a clue how many of those I'll need. So this guy here would be outputting 1 per second. Okay. I see. Military science. Yeah, we know the drill. So overall, I'll just I just have to connect it differently, you know. It's the same old shtick, just a different look on it. I'm going to need a few of those as well. Motors, stone brick, and you see the ingredients here are quite similar in general, but it's about time to use refined fuels, I'd say. Just want to make sure that I get enough. But as a matter of fact, I'm already pretty sure that this is more than I really need. But with these recipes, I just get more out of my money, you know? And that's good. And that's really, really good. Let's power them up. And maybe give this poor guys a real balancer, huh? I mean, come on. So there we go. There goes a real balancer. The only thing I need now is the same procedure over at the other side as well. Military science. So overall, the research aspects, the research seems to work out pretty well. But as long as I research, obviously there's a severe lack of copper in my factory now. But like I said, this is actually a good thing. So I want to get out the coal out of the system here. It's time to stop using coal. We have now better materials than that. And also it's about time to say goodbye for today. Well, this episode is already getting close to its end. So we're starting to get forward here, slowly but steadily. Somehow I feel like the space exploration, well, the AAI Industries mod pack has a little bit of a slower build-up phase in the early game. Let's call it like this. But at the same time, I feel like it's a very smooth game experience. I enjoy my time here. Everything is a little bit harder than I'm used to in the beginning, but in a very good way. Like, things are not overly complicated or strange or whatever you might think of as a uncomfortable condition. Overall, I have much more of the feeling like it's pretty chill. Just a little bit more lengthy because you have to craft pretty much everything by hand, you know. Or no, not by hand. That's the wrong wording. What I'm trying to say is you have so many things where you have to produce the lowest tier available to get things done. Yeah, that's how I would try to put it. Like, everywhere I have to work with these horrible burner inserters, for example. Whereas in most other playthroughs, I wouldn't touch these at all. But here, it's a basic rule of engagement to use those things. So, let's see. It's the differences. So we're going to have quite large pre-production chains in the future, but that's, again, something I like more than I don't like it. Get away, we don't use wood here. We use processed fuel. Oh, I just replaced one guy. Dang it. I wanted to expand. Okay, whatever might be the case. I'm going to end this episode here, so we're starting to get things done more efficiently, but at the same time, I think it's also about time to think about expanding my base in a larger scale, getting the big smelters done planning on large mining operations. I mean, I now have the materials to do so. So feel free to drop me a comment down below if you have anything on your mind. I always appreciate to hear from you guys. I also appreciate likes, shares with your friends, or even subscriptions to my channel if you really want to make me happy. Whatever might be the case, I just hope you're coming back for more space exploration, and have a nice time. Until then, goodbye.